It's interesting. Like when we do this, you see people start to yawn. Maybe you notice, for example, you're getting hungry. Does anybody notice, oh, I got a bit more hungry after doing that?
I would, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like it's interesting because when the nervous system is activated, like things like hunger or all these kind of things that are not of immediate importance, they get kind of suppressed. And then when you come back into a safe, same is with like, for example, fertility or healing or a lot of important functions for the body, they get suppressed when we're in, for example, this kind of fight flight
Mm.
activated mode. And then you regulate yourself a bit and you're like, oh, I'm getting a bit sleepy. I'm getting a bit hungry. Starting to smile a bit more. I feel
Mhm.
like a bit playful. And that's like the nervous system coming into safety, which in itself is such a game changer to learn to recognize that and to learn to how to shift it. And it's actually not so difficult once you know.
I feel always a little resistance for this kind of, like, resistance for the safety. I think also in this moment now, I feel like, oh, I don't want to stand up or move my body. But once I'm doing it, it's nice. But
Yeah.
there's this like moment of like, oh, I want to stay where I am. So this maybe
Mhm.
a small version of freeze. I don't know.
What kind of energy do you feel with that resistance?
And I think it is in more space in my life a resistance to safety, to regulation.
Hmm. And do you think you resist like the safety itself, or is it like I have to keep going, or is it I'm like, or is it a bit like no, I'm like a bit like bleh.
Yeah, this more the numb feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
We
say
don't
something?
have to go into it, but it's just what I also noticed it in this small exercise. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Can I say something about it in general terms, not
Yeah,
just
sure.
to you, because it is very interesting. Um, so that's like in nervous system terms, that's called a dorsal. So it's like the I'm shutting down, right? So
Mm-hmm.
basically, when your nervous system is in unsafety, there's kind of three levels that it's going through. One is the kind of social. So like oh, I'm unsafe. I start to please people. I start to smile. I start to make a joke or and then another approach is the kind of it's called the sympathetic. So it's like the fight or flight. So my body activates. I move towards a threat. I move away from it, but I'm using movement to 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 get into safety. And the final step is like this. It's called dorsal, or it's also called collapse. Um, and it's where the body's kind of giving up, and it's just like, okay, this is kind of preserving energy or preparing to die, kind of almost. It's like, no, this is not gonna, nothing is gonna work anymore. Um, and then what's very useful in that stage is to do something very small, like to stand up immediately and feel like too much. But if you would, for example, just move a little bit your fingers, or you move your toes, or you bring a very small movement into your body, or you look around the room a little bit. Maybe give yourself a little bit of touch. And then very slowly, um, you generally will notice that you get lifted slowly, slowly, slowly out of that. But forcing it into like, oh, I'm going to do all sorts of stuff is then too much.